today is a what I've been watching. I'm going to open the new pack of gum that Ida sent, and I opened up Classic Bubble first. Classic Bubble. So we're going to chew gum, and we're going to talk about what I've been watching. I have already started my whole horror list for the year. With one movie and one show. But before we get into it, gotta do a little light housekeeping. If you're new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back. Oh jeez. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. If you're old here, go double check, make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like if you like, leave a comment. Give me anything related to the video. It can just be a hello. Anything as long as it's cool, respectful. Hit the notification bell. And as always, I will link my tip jars in the description. No pressure whatsoever, but every $1, every $2 helps. I'm just your friendly local ASMR server. Serving you some ASMR. Feel free to follow me over on Instagram. Same name over there. I just mostly post pictures, some other nonsense. That's where I take custom requests. And TikTok is just net nonsense. Alright. I've been watching. So we will do, first we'll do kind of like the lighter stuff. The lighter like Halloween ones that I watched. And then we'll do the horror. And then at the end, I will talk about 2 other things that I watched that were crazy. So, we did watch Teenage Kraken with my son who's obsessed with Kraken. So, of course, he's been wanting to watch it non-stop. I think he watched it. Don't come for me. We don't have TV limits here. I think he watched it 3 times yesterday. We did other stuff. We rode bikes. We were outside for the other half of the day. That's not what this video is about. Whatever. He's the 4th kid. All right. So we watched Teenage Kraken. It's cute. I just am not into that aesthetic. I don't think she looked that much like a Kraken, if I'm being honest. I don't know. I think they could have done, and I know is it Pixar or whatever it is. That's their thing, and that's how they look. It's just not for me. The story's cute. And then last night, we were in the garage. We have like a projector in the garage, and it was really nice weather last night. So we had the garage open, and we were watching our neighbors started putting their like Halloween stuff out, and my son was freaking out over like the pumpkins that he saw across the street, like the big fake pumpkins. And we're like, let's go watch the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown Great Pumpkin. I think that's it. You know what I'm talking about. Charlie Brown Great Pumpkin, or Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. And it's only like 30 minutes or something, and it's so cute, and just like nothing really happens. It moves so slow. But it's so cute, and it just gives you like the cozy feels. Like if you had a warm drink and a blanket and watched Charlie Brown outside in the fall, like does it get more autumn cozy than that? So we watched Charlie Brown Great Pumpkin last night. A few nights ago we watched Casper. I think Casper was 1990. Believe it or not, with Christina Ricci, and then I cannot remember his name, but we love him. He is the actor in The Sinner. He's the detective Harry Ambrose in The Sinner. If you don't know what Casper is, it is like a classic from the 90s. It's about Casper the Friendly Ghost. Casper the Friendly Ghost is from like way back when, but this was at the time the modern version of Casper the Friendly Ghost. And it's about this family, like the dad is a ghost hunter. So they move into this mansion, just him and his daughter, and his job is to help these ghosts cross over from this mansion so that the property can be sold. And that's where Casper lives with his like 3 jerky uncle ghosts. The 3 like drunk, jerky uncle ghosts. So it's kind of about the family bonding with these ghosts, even though they're supposed to be getting rid of them. And when I tell you that I cried, I forgot the ending. And I won't spoil it. I'm not saying it's like a terrible, like tragic ending, but it's emotional. And I was crying real tears. I was like, how am I crying at a movie I've probably seen 100 times? But I sure did. So Casper, so that was all like the kiddie stuff. Now let's move over into adult Halloween time, adult spook. We watched the 2005 Amityville Horror, Ryan Reynolds, and I forgot, or I didn't realize, the little girl in that movie is Chloe Grace Moretz, but she was so little in it. She was so cute. She was so cute. I mean, she's full grown now. This movie's from 2005. Amityville Horror is it's based on a true story, which is crazy. And it's about a family that a mom and dad, 2 kids. They are they're house hunting, and they come across this house that's really old, and it's being sold pretty cheap, right? I'm like, why is this being sold so cheap? But they snatch it up. Well, it turns out the family before had some horrific stuff. And it's happening again. Like, the husband starts to get weird, the mom starts to get paired, like the whole family's falling apart. So it's like everybody that moved into that house in real life went nuts. And the dad like kind of turns into a monster, essentially. It was weird watching Ryan Reynolds play that part, because I even forgot that Ryan Reynolds was the guy in that movie. And like the roles we see him in today are nothing like that. So it was weird to see Ryan Reynolds play this horrible character. It is a good horror movie. That is one. And I'm pretty picky. Like, I'll watch them all, but I'm really picky about the ones that I say are good. Okay. The other horror that I highly recommend, but it comes with a ton of trigger warnings, is a show. It is Changeling on Apple TV. And it is about, it's kind of sci-fi, but it's like sci-fi that I can handle. It's about it's Lakeith. What's Lakeith's last name? Lakeith. He does a lot of horror. And he's actually a producer in it, but he's an actor in it as well. Anyways, he meets this librarian. He like courts her for a while. He really wants to be with her for real, get married, all that. But she takes a trip. Like, when they first start dating, she takes a trip to Costa Rica. And some weird stuff happens over there that he never really found, at this point, he never really found out what it was. But she gets involved with, like, some witchy stuff out there. She comes back, and they get back together. They weren't, like, broke up, but she was like, I'm leaving for Costa Rica for a long time, so if we get back together, cool. If not, whatever. She comes back, and he's like, I want to marry you. I want to start a family, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, they do it. He still never knew what happened over there. After she has the baby, she starts having like postpartum depression, and I will say, like, she acts like this baby's horrible, but they never even really show the baby like crying or anything. So I'm like, they don't know what horrible is, because my last baby, that was hard. But in the movie, like, he only just, like, while she's breastfeeding him, he bites her one time. Other than that, they don't show the baby being like very difficult. But she can't handle him, which that has nothing to do with. I'm just mentioning that because I think the movie could have added the baby being more difficult to kind of add that element of like being overtired. Not that it can happen even if you have an angel baby, you can have postpartum. I just think like they could have added that to the movie just to make it whatever. But she keeps like throwing the baby at the dad, like, I cannot deal with him. He's terrible, blah, blah, blah. She's really going through it. Meanwhile, she's getting these texts, like when she's out and about with the baby, she's getting pictures sent to her phone of her and the baby. Like somebody is stalking her or something. But whenever she goes to show her husband these text images, they're gone. They're like coming to the phone and they're getting deleted right away. So she's starting to get paranoid. She loses it. She absolutely loses it. And it turns into like a horror from there on out. I won't give you any more than that, but I highly recommend it. But it's got like mom triggers, it's got postpartum triggers, it's got death, it's got childhood triggers, childhood abandonment triggers, child abuse trigger, everything. Give it a try if you like horror and you can handle all that. Painkiller on Netflix. I already knew this story because I had read the book Dope Sick. Is that what it's called? I think it was called Dope Sick. And there was a Hulu show, Dope Sick. But it is about the OxyContin. When they first brought out OxyContin and they had all these drug reps going to... Now this rendition of Painkiller is more about the drug reps that were told to push this drug. Dope Sick wasn't really about that part of it. It was, but this one focuses on the drug reps and their part in it. Some of them knew how dangerous OxyContin was, and some of them were just very young, and they were like, okay, this is a miracle drug. I'm going to go push it to all these doctors and then, save the world from pain. But it's about how these drug reps would go into doctors' offices and be like, we've got the miracle drug right here, OxyContin. Nobody can get addicted to it, and it relieves pain, which were not the facts. And even a lot of the drug reps in this show on Netflix, it's like a series, mini-series or whatever, were hooked on Oxy, and they were still pushing it to doctors. And they were doing all kinds of unethical things to push it. They were like going on dates with the doctors. They were sleeping with the doctors. They were doing anything they could to push this drug because they were being incentivized by Purdue to get as much of this drug out there. Like it was just they just wanted this drug to take over the world. They wanted everybody to be on Oxy, basically. You got a little bit of pain, we're throwing you on Oxy. You got breakthrough pain, we're going to double your dose. You feel like you're addicted, we better double your dose. Like all the wrong things. So definitely give it a watch. And then there's families that talk about there's little breaks in the series where real families come on to talk about how they lost their family member to this epidemic, And it also follows a man who had an injury at work, who's prescribed Oxy, and takes it as needed, or as he's supposed to, but he progresses into a full-blown, street addict. He's out of the house, he's away from his kids, he's living on a mattress, on the floor, out, dire. Is in a dire situation. So it follows his story, too, so you can kind of watch how it happens. In the case of somebody being prescribed something and over-prescribed something, and just the steps that land you as just a regular old homeless, you've lost everything, regular, what you see. Because people don't think that you can go from a working man with a family and a home to being your run-of-the-mill, what you see when you picture addiction, and it can happen in a year, it can happen in a few months. So that was a good one. And then one more thing I'm going to mention that I watched was Christina Randall's video on the aliens in Peru. If If I remember, I'll link the video, but I probably won't because my child will be up and I'll be trying to upload. It's Christina Randall's channel. And then just find the one that's about the aliens in Peru. Watch all her videos. They're awesome, but this one particular. Sorry, I keep coughing. It is on the mainstream news in Peru right now. Something, and I know people that haven't looked into this alien stuff yet, it just sounds crazy. It sounds like a conspiracy, right? Even though our own government here has admitted they have non-human biologic. They won't specify what that means, but it's getting real, right? In Peru, they're being attacked by something. Something is coming down for the last several months from the sky, and like they have footage and they want help. They're like, I don't know what it is, but if it's not aliens, we need help, and if it is aliens, we need help. Something is flashing in the sky every night, and there are a lot of things happening. Animals and humans, and terrible things are happening over there. The community is terrified. Their regular news is putting it all out there. Like, we don't know what this is. We need help. The military did go out. And they were like, yay, the military's here. The military's going to help us. But all the military did was take their reports. Like a cop, when you go in and something happened to you. Well, we can take the report. That's all they did. And they got the hell out of there. I don't know what to think. But I know if it's not aliens, can somebody go over there and find out what it is? Because whether it is or it isn't, this could happen to us. Something could attack us. So don't you think it's time to examine it? Now, she did bring up that there were some other schools of thought. Like, what else could it be? Could there be people with jetpacks that are like posing as aliens? Because there's like sightings of beings and stuff. But the jetpacks are so freaking expensive that I don't think that it could be that. Like, the jetpacks were hundreds of thousands of dollars to have a jetpack. How many people have hundreds of thousands of dollars to have a jetpack? And would those people go play around in Peru pretending to be aliens? And also, like, the lights, I don't think the jetpacks could make that big of, you have to see the videos, but that big of an impact on the sky as far as lighting the sky up and stuff. I don't know. I just think that it's time to probably examine it and let humans know what's going on. I did listen to a podcast. This is just a little tangent. And the podcast is called Stuff They Don't Want You to Know. And they're conspiracy realists. They don't go off too big of deep ends or anything. They're just like, here's the facts, here's what you might want to start thinking about. And they were talking about if we, as the world stands right now, did come into contact with some other being that had tech that we didn't have, right? Say that we had some aliens come down and they had a vehicle that they used that could travel really fast but didn't use gasoline. Now we would think, wow, I wonder if they would let us take a look at this ship or this vehicle and see what we could do here so that we didn't need that gas as a resource anymore, maybe one day, Like, what if they have a vehicle that runs on water or on air or on nothing or something? The way our world stands right now, they would not be open to gathering that technology for us because they would screw up their dollar. It would screw up their oligarchy, basically. So I don't know that we'll ever, if we had the opportunity to have like a friendly meeting with something else, I think they would block it until they could monetize on it, And I also don't think that aliens would like us very much. As a species, we're pretty crap, So that's kind of scary. Because they could see us as just like I mean, look at what we do to each other. They could take one look at that and be like, yeah, we're going to put them out of their misery, you know? I don't even know. If you're still watching this, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think it's just all wackadoodle? Or are you starting to be like, all right, we need the dish. We need to know. I'm not so like centric to think that our species is the only species. I can't. I think there's something out there. Or under, because some people say, no, these things are in the ocean, these things are underground. Who knows? I don't know, because they're not telling us. But if you're still there, let me know what you think in the comments. Other than that, I hope, also let me know what you're watching, what you've been watching. I hope that you have a good rest of your day, rest of your evening, and or a good night's sleep, and I will see y'all